well, why don't you just put a monument up there? It says something like, "Herein lie the remains of African American slaves, whose identities and contributions are none but to God."
Amen.
When I read that,
Amen.
I said, I want to get involved in this project.
Yes, Lord.
So, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Tommy's sister, Beth Walton. Beth is an Ancestry.com expert. And so she helped guide us into finding information about Dr. Tate. And she really found a great one. She found an article about him, and I think it was in a Burke County Heritage magazine. They really told his whole life story. And we're grateful to have that information. I mentioned Ann, but I didn't tell you much about her. Ann is from Andrews, North Carolina. She characterizes herself as an artist, an author, and co-founder of an organization called One Dozen Who Care. But I think her greatest contribution is helping to bring together the African American community in Western Carolina through your book and through your speeches. Betty Dorsey, Annie Lloyd, right here, you saw them singing. Reba drafted the religion portion of the exhibit. And these ladies were her liaison and provided great expertise. And Betty, along with Reverend Donald Carter, right back there, put your hand up.
Amen.
They served on a review committee that reviewed our work before we sent it to the publisher for printing. And we thank you very much for your support in that. I mentioned the kids going to school. Mary Fonda, she's not here, the librarian, she was a great deal of help. We've got a real treasure over there in the Moss Memorial Library. And Mary runs a pretty tight ship. If you need something, if you're looking for information, she can get it for you.
Thank you, Mary.
You're going to hear from Irene and Penny in a minute. And Henry Burton Tate, thanks for letting me pester you so much over the last several months. And Henry did a great job of just filling us in all we would ever want to know about his great-grandfather.
Amen.
But now I'd like you to learn how he learned so much about his great-grandfather. Penny and Irene, could you come up and tell us the story about a history book and a slate sketch of his birthplace in Hayesville?
First, I'd just like to thank everybody for inviting us to be a part of this. And thank y'all for making us feel so welcome. We've been treated so well, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
When I found this old history book at a store called, it's a United Mountain Methodist Mission Opportunity Store, which in better terms is a thrift store, and I'm one of their best customers. I buy my clothes there, I buy other things there, and if I see an old book, I just gotta have it. So that's how I come by this history book that had belonged to Mr. H.W. Tate.
Wow.
And I took that home, and later in the day I sat down and I began to go through this old book, and I'm turning those pages, and I come across that sketch of that cabin that has been spoken so much about here today. And I looked at that and I thought, oh my, You could tell it was an original. The paper is very fragile. So I was very careful with it, but I called my daughter and I said something to this effect, Penny, you won't believe what I found. So she was amazed when she saw it, but I knew in my heart that that paper was more than just a piece of paper.
Amen.
It was a half sheet of paper written on both sides and folded in half and put between the pages. Of this book. Don't make me cry.
Making all of us cry. Lord have mercy.
But I found it between the pages and I gave 50 cents for it. 50 cents. And there was a piece of history inside there that I'm sure means much